Yeah, it's very meshy, but the outfit is fire. Babes, we did not come to play.
Do it like that, kiss it like that, making it last fast, bring it right back, wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that, kiss it like that, making it last fast, bring it right back, wear it like that, do it like that, kiss it like that, making it last fast, bring it right back, wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that, kiss it like that, making it last fast, bring it right back, wear it like that, move it like that, like it like that, like that, like that, do it like that,
So Spectrum is a ballroom event that's hosted in Cape Town at Hearty Collective, which is in Woodstock. And they've been hosting this now for the umpteenth time. I think it might have been running for about 2 to 3 years now. And I've been going for the last 2, and it is always a vibe. You know what, it's always like this weird thing about whether or not like I want to go out because I'm so introverted, and particularly like with the balls because I know it's like, you know, it's a spectacle, it's an event, and there are people, and that's sometimes a lot for me. But every time when I'm there, it's just like I remember why I go. Cape Town is known as the sort of queer capital of South Africa, and our sort of LGBT communities and culture are very much integrated into the city life, and there are queer clubs, queer bars, and so Spectrum sits really, really well in this sort of culture of the LGBTQIA plus community, and is really like a home for, I think, a lot of people, including myself, to a particular degree. Like, without necessarily going into too much of the history around ball culture, it had started as a sort of event where communities could come together and feel safe. And I think that's like a very, very important thing, that these balls are incredibly safe spaces for queer people. And so these performances, these celebrations of queerness has become a very strong, I guess, actor in modern pop culture. And there's sort of been this upward trend, you know, of queer being cool. But so much of our history is, I guess, rooted in trying to create these safe and inclusive spaces for us, because historically we didn't have that. I mean, it was true back then, and it is sort of true to a particular degree today, that for queer people, particularly young queer people, it isn't the easiest thing to come out. It isn't the easiest thing to be yourself, because the world that we live in is sometimes very conservative and often very, very hostile. And because so many of us had been ostracized and excommunicated from our families, we needed to find these spaces where we could have family, where we could feel safe. And the balls and the houses were one of those spaces where we were able to do that. The houses really came out of a need for creating safe and queer, like, families, for lack of a better phrase. And so they offer, you know, support in a number of areas. And so you have mothers or fathers who run particular houses, and they'll have children who they then raise, who then give guidance and support and mentorship to. And so these houses were more than just like little pockets of performance artists, you know, coming together. They came out of a need for family, and that's what they were. And that sort of context still rings true today. And I think that's part of what I love about the ball culture, and particularly the ball culture here in Cape Town. One of the things that I have come to really love about the balls is that you get to dress up. And it's weird because that used to sit really weird with me. I think when I came out as trans, one of the things that I hated, particularly like events like Halloween, where people would put on costumes, you know, and become something or someone else for like a day or that event, you know. I never really liked that. Pride was that for me as well. I felt that a lot of people were dressing up. It was a performance of some sort. And with time, I've gotten to a space where I've realized that part of the dress isn't a dressing up. It's a space, an opportunity to actually free yourself from all of the day-to-day things that we do in terms of the way we craft our appearance. Like what I'm wearing right now feels less dressed up than wearing like jeans, t-shirt and sneakers for me. I feel like so much of our world is shaped by a very sort of straight, very homogenized, like overtone. It's not even subtle, right? So we don't think about when we go to work or when we go to the store that we're dressing up. Like so much of that is performance. And I think the balls specifically, while there's a lot of thought and intent behind how people are presenting in the space, what they're wearing, what their makeup looks like, I feel like that's not a performance. That's more an authentic representation of who people are than the sort of regular everyday life. And I think that's part of what I love about going to these spaces. And then there's obviously, you know, the performance side to it, where people get to walk the runway in a number of categories, whether that's realness, whether that's serving body, whether that's excited. It is really, really incredible to see people be that free and that safe in such a held environment. And it's less of a competition than I initially thought it was when I first started going to the balls. That sense of competition was sort of like a mismatch in my mind, and it's less that and more celebration, you know? And while people are, I guess, you know, like winning certain categories, it isn't necessarily about the winning. It isn't about who's doing something better than someone else. It's about the participation. It's about celebrating that. And that's a space that's completely free of judgment, which is so rare to find. I sometimes wonder what my life would have looked like had I not come out, had I not, you know, found a community, found family in this very strange and difficult world. And my life is so much better for it. I sometimes catch myself in moments, you know, where I think about younger me, and I don't think that they could have ever imagined that my life would have turned out this way. It's really, really great to feel like you belong somewhere. Yeah, I think I might be walking the bulls very soon. I'm not sure which category just yet. Maybe body, realness, sex-sided, maybe. We'll see. I think that Spectrum and more generally the balls offer us an opportunity to think about sexuality, offer us an opportunity to think about gender, about bodies, about how we are and present in the world in a really spectacularly beautiful way, a way that isn't confined or restrained or conforming in any kind of way, where people are able to be free and be who they are, and be held in that space. So often we are in the world and we're thinking about, you know, what can I say and what can't I do, and how can I look and how am I supposed to behave, and that gets a lot, you know. They really give us a space to push our boundaries and reimagine the world in the way that we imagine the utopia, I guess. Ballroom really is a celebration of the strength, the resilience, the creativity, and just the power of the queer community. And I can't tell you how much I am so incredibly proud to be queer and to be openly trans and openly visible in a world that tells us that we shouldn't. Yeah, it's a legacy.